We're joined on the line by Jan De Koning, who's a freelance rugby journalist. Jan, a very good evening to you and welcome to Early Breakfast, or rather good morning.
Good morning and thank you for having me on this show.
So looking ahead to tomorrow at Ellis Park, what kind of test are you expecting between these two sides?
I'm very excited about it because it'd be interesting to see. And you asked about the potential of mind games. Mind games have been going on all week. You know, there's the trains in a way how you approach referees. The teams can no longer do individual meetings with the referees. So both teams have to agree. And Rassie said no, and David Rennie said, yeah, I agree. And so it's all ongoing. So now the points, they make their points through the media. And I think the breakdown is an important aspect. Because that's where you slow New Zealand's ball down. They would like you to not contest the breakdown because they want to have fast ball and play wide. And the Springboks would like to slow it down so they can go to set pieces. So, yes, it's definitely mind games, and it's gone into overdrive in the last few days.
And then let's talk about what's been taking place with the All Blacks, dominating the Stormers, the Sharks, as well as the Bulls. Are we already seeing Dave Rennie's influence, and what have you made of this New Zealand side so far?
It's a very strong New Zealand side, so right out of the bat, very, very strong New Zealand side. They play a specific game in terms of as I just said, they want quick ball, they want a fast-paced game, they want to play that. They're trying to avoid contact and definitely try not to turn it into arm wrestle. And Dave Rennie, he did that with Australia, if you will remember, at Ellis Park last year, one of only two games the Springboks lost last year. And that was the same type of game where you spread the ball quickly, you take it wide, and so that's his style. He was like that at the Chiefs as well. He was like that in Japan when he was coaching there. But there's ways to combat that legally. Let me make that clear. You can legally combat that, and you can legally slow down the ball, and they go to set pieces, they go to a more structured game.
And then let's talk about the Springboks with a very late team announcement this week. What do you read into that? And are there any selection calls that we should take note of? You think it's another play on mind games?
Very much. I was having a private chuckle there. Rassie said, it's out of respect for the All Blacks. I think Rassie just wanted to... it is respect. There is respect, but and there's definitely Rassie... made him sweat a bit about his team. Also, part of that is he did want to give Sia and Ox a bit extra time. So Sia didn't make it. His hamstring is still bothering him, and Ox is playing. So one for Rassie, 0 for Dave. But if you go back to the team, and we've got to remember that the Stormers, as much as the All Blacks were playing three different type of teams, and they were rotating the squad the whole time on the tour so far. The Stormers, the Sharks and the Bulls were fielding effectively B teams. You can have, there was about at least 15 players from each team which were either injured or with the Springboks. So it's not exactly the strongest teams that they were playing, but there's definitely enough signs to know that tomorrow is going to be a massive, massive tight game.
And then let's go into the conversation about tomorrow's game. Who's the favorite for you, and what does each team need to get right to actually win?
I think the Springboks will go in just because it's home ground advantage. Will go into as slight favourites, and I think New Zealand will need to speed up the game. They need to make sure that they play as they did against the Bulls in the first half and against the Stormers in the second half. I think if there's two aspects that the Springboks can look at, it's the Stormers in the first half where the defence was really tight and they managed to keep them, and then the Bulls in the second half where they also shored up the defence. You need to get up in their faces all the time, and that the Springboks need to make sure that their set pieces are solid, their defence is rock solid, and they need to be in the faces of the All Blacks for 80 minutes, not just 40 minutes or 60 minutes. I would still put some money on the Boks to win, but it's going to be very close. One score, 3 points or 5 points.
Oof. Jan De Koning, we'll leave it there. Freelance rugby journalist talking about a very tight game, hotly contested tomorrow with the All Blacks versus the Springboks. It's going to be a very, very interesting one. All the best to our boys.